In this video, I will be pushing the Geometric Internals closed beta to the limit and build a World War I land ship. Let's get started! Here is our starter hull. Very similar to the one currently available in the stable branch, but it has some minor tweaks to bring it up to the current game version. I've already named this vehicle a T-100 heavy tank, but honestly that might not be the best name for it. There we go. Now let's get started with shaping the hull. We're going to need to make this vane very long. Let's make it a little bit wider too. And bring the top out just a bit more. I think that should be good. Well, let's edit the tracks now. Since we're going for a World War I theme, we're obviously going to want to put the best fitting World War I tracks on it. Let's take the return rollers and move them up a bit more. Let's take our road wheels and decrease the diameter a bit. And now let's configure them to have a bit better of a reset angle. Scale them down just a bit. Perfect. I think from here we're already starting to get a pretty good World War I look to it. Let's start by placing 2 turrets up in the front. Let's work with a side one right now. There we go. Now let's try to slap a 57mm in here. Got a mantlet down. Now to put a cannon in here. Interesting. It dropped a 37mm in here. That looks a bit different from before, where I had a 105mm beforehand when I was doing the first video. So let's go inside. Let's take the mantlet and move it back. Increase the caliber to 57. And let's give it some propellant length so that it can hit stuff and penetrate it. About 400. That's a pretty interesting amount of penetration, which is probably not very realistic for this era. And why are there 2 motor drives? I'm going to place a guess on it being that there was most likely 2 mantlets placed down instead of 1. Yep, that has fixed it. Let's give our cannon a bit of length to it and put a muzzle on it. There we go. We have our first turret down. We actually could increase the start thickness a little bit. And increase the end thickness. That looks pretty good. Now onto the second turret. Let's move this out of the way. And there. This one's going to be a bit bigger because we're going to put a 75mm in here. Looking good there. Symmetry off. We are good to go. Now let's put a cannon in it. And set the caliber to 75. Let's find the mantlet, move it back a fair bit, and set the gun lane drive off to the side so we can configure it to work. While we're here, we also should take the traverse motor, which is sitting back here, and make sure it's properly set up so it can move the turret ring. And give it a bit more torque. We'll do the same to the other one here while we're looking at it. And we also should probably set some constraints. Otherwise, these turrets will shoot into each other, which is definitely not a good idea. We're starting to make some pretty good progress now. Our next step will be to add a back section so that we can place more turrets without them firing into each other. Start by making this a perfect square or rectangle. Put it conveniently in the very middle, and now add some basic slopes to it. Not much, but just enough to make it not look purely like a box. Turret ring under here, we're going to need to make it pretty big. Not very tall. Give it a bit of armor. Make sure we have enough space to actually put other turret rings into. We're going to want to not give this one any allowed movement. And deliberately make sure that it's not functional. So with that, now let's put our main turret up here. This one's going to be a big one. Let's see how big we can make this guy. One is looking comically big. Let's now put a comically big gun into it. Take a mantlet, center it. Oh, that's right. We can't scale them yet. And take a cannon. Place it in the middle. And then name it the Big Cannon. And now let's go file edit it to make it bigger. Perfect. Now we've got a really big cannon. Although it only shows 250mm here, it has been file edited to about 720. That mantlet is comically big. Wow. Yeah, good luck fitting this anywhere in the tank. Can we still play with it? Somehow. Well then, I guess we're going to have to ignore the fact that it's extremely big because, well, we're simply not going to be able to make it fit. Let's size this back down just a bit. And go back to our cannon. And then make it really long. What happens if we put a muzzle on? Yeah, that's a really big muzzle. This looks so hilarious. Now for a rear turret. Let's see if we can actually fit anything back here, given that there is a transmission and engine directly under it, but far enough below that we can squeeze quite a lot in here. We're going to need to turn this turret around 180 degrees so it faces the back. Give it a little extra width. And then turn on symmetry so we can place dual cannons in it. Let's put a cannon on this one, a cannon on that one. We'll set this guy to a 75, and this guy to a 47. Give the minor segment a bit more length, and give the major segment a little more. Give it a muzzle brake, and then do the same for this one. Now add some length to here. Okay, why are there two? There's not supposed to be two. Let's restart this. No symmetry. Well, something's clearly still broken. Now for some extra fun, let's take yet another turret. Slap it on top. Cut down on the height of this just a bit. Maybe. There we go. We're going to need to make it a bit small, narrow, and definitely tall if we want to fit crew in here. How far forward can we push it? About that far. Although if we go back into normal view, well, not that. goes down a bit more, I think we can get away with making this a bit deeper. There. Now the traverse motor doesn't collide. And we can go back to firepower. Take a mantlet and put it on. And now for a cannon, let's just stick to a 37mm for this one. $70mm penetration still feels like a lot for something of this era. Slide it back. Make that a bit longer. Slap on the muzzle brake. And that one's bugged too. Also, it's not very long, which is not good. Oh, I see what's going on here. Yep, the penetration bug is still present from before, to where it assumes your bore length is 46 meters long. And with that, I think our basic design for this comically oversized World War I landship is done. Now the fun part, doing the internals. So we've got quite the mess to work with here. We obviously need to put crew in all these and see if we can even fit ammo in here. Let's start with some crew up front. We'll see if we can make them fit. He looks pretty comfortable that way. So let's mirror it with him. Perfect. Now we've got 2 crew up front. And we can move the steering wheel in. So now one guy's our steering wheel. And this one is now invalid apparently. That'll have to do. Let's see if we can squeeze more crew in. Staff one guy up here. Oh, there's 2 of them. Let's turn off symmetry again. Nope, just barely fits. Well, a bit lucky there. Let's see if we can fit another one in for the other turret. It looks like we can. Well, it seems to have now invalidated both of the traverse limits for the guns, so we'll need to adjust that next. Oh, that one's fixed. Perfect. Now let's try to put some ammo in here. Maybe. It's pretty cramped already. Oh, we've got a neat bundle in here. Let's see if we can put one in for the other side. That fits nicely. Obviously this one would use very big ammo, so We'll just put a lot of litho ammo instead. The real question is, where do we put the crew for this? Oh, there we go. Got a crew member to fit. And now 2 of them. I guess that will just have to work. Can we get crew to fit back here? Nice, we got 1 guy to fit. Yeah, let's get a second one. And can we get a third one? Yep, just barely. Now about this top one, this will be very, very interesting. Nope, we're going to have to go just a bit higher with this turret. Like so. Now to put more ammo in. There we go. Ammo everywhere. Now all that remains is decorating it. And here we are. It is done. We now have a 6-cannon super heavy with a 720mm main cannon, some 75mm secondaries, a 47 and a 57mm secondary. Plenty of armor plating on the side, some extras, an engine vent with some exhaust, and plenty of access ports. Now to see how it performs. Well, looks like we're focused on the very back, which is strange. And it also can't move very quickly. We are at 3 kilometers an hour. We try to turn. Yeah, it definitely takes some time. Now, what happens if we fire? Oh no. Full on barrel roll. Interesting. So the engine was damaged and it has a light greenish blue color to it. I haven't seen that color before. Oh no, now it's upside down. Oh no. An interesting shade of orange now. How did we land upright that time? This thing's quicker traveling through recoil strength than it is the actual engine. Now we're stuck upside down again. There we go. Nope. That's a pretty dark shade of red. And it's been knocked out. I don't think friendly fire is helping in that case. And where'd the tracks go? I guess they just disappear when your tank dies now. Alongside the update, Sprocket is getting a major code overhaul under the hood. While these changes won't be very obvious, it's going to massively simplify future development of the game, making it easier for things like mod support, customizable suspension, more in-depth scenarios, and many other features to be implemented in the future. This also means that many things planned for the refinement period on the roadmap are simply being included with the geometric internals update. Overall, doing these rewrites now is probably going to prove better for the long-term development of the game at the cost of a delay to the current update's release. Now, as for when the update will become available publicly, nobody knows for sure, but my guess is probably not anytime soon. Keep an eye out for announcements on Steam and subscribe to my YouTube channel to get updates as Geometric Internals nears its full release date. Thank you for watching and see you all soon.